Good evening, Steven with you here. And I was just showing you there. This is a project I've been working on for quite some time. That has been quite a challenge, but I've got it working now. This is an old Rockola 431 jukebox I've been getting going for a friend. I've got the front cover off of it right now. And I got the upper lid off, and you can see the mechanism in there. Yeah, I'll go ahead and close the lid here so you can kind of see what this thing looks like a little bit. It's a early 60s vintage Rockola jukebox, and had a lot of problems with the gripper arm here not doing what it should, and those gears right here that make it all work. Jukeboxes are very fascinating devices because they're largely mechanical, and one of the interesting things about these is there's a few just kind of misconceptions in the way these things work that people think. The first one is that these things play the records in the order that the buttons are entered on the top. The second one is if you enter the same record multiple times, it will play it multiple times. Those are incorrect, and it has to do with the fact that these don't have computers in them. Look at that, vacuum tubes. That's all the electronics this thing has in it, except for a few solenoids and some transformers. You've got some, see, there's some relays down there, power supply. That's your coin-op mechanism right there, so when you put your money in, it reads how much money you have. And then we got the speakers right here. So what happens is this little mechanism right here swings around when you enter a selection, and it pops one of these pins out to the other side. Then you've got this device here that actually what's called readouts. See that little piece right there, and whenever it hits one of those pins, it knows it's got a record to play, and this rotates with this. So whichever one of these pins is popped out, that's where you play a record. It plays it in the order that the records are in the record caddy. This thing rotates here. I'll show you how it works in just a moment here. And if somebody comes up to the machine, if you already have the tab popped, say for instance, person sitting over at that table in the pizza parlor or whatever comes in and wants to play B3. Okay, they walk down, sit, and then the person over there in the pizza parlor comes up, puts their money in, and wants to play B3 as well. Okay, so that's entered twice. It's already entered. That pin's already popped. So guess what happens? The record player is going to play B3. But the dude over there thinks, there's my record, it's playing it already. And the guy over there thinks, that's my record, it's playing it already. No harm, no foul. You know, it's not playing it twice. It just played it once because it was entered twice, but there's only one pin on the machine to make it work. Okay. Well, let me show you how this thing works here. I'll go ahead and put it in operational mode. And I'm just going to go ahead and pick up the tone arm and just swing it to the middle, and you can see its operation happen here. And you can see the record caddy rotating. You can see the readout arm there rotating around. I'll enter a selection here. Let's do C4. And you see that little machine there. Here, I'll do it again. F6. See it swinging around. And then what will happen is, see the caddy hits that number, and here comes the record. And it's going to drop the needle down and give it a play. I don't have it turned up particularly loud, and I don't want to get some copyright dings on here, so I've got it kind of muted a little bit. But here, I'll go ahead and there's also a rejection button on the back here. You can push that little button on the back of the machine. There you go, and it'll pop it off and go to the next selection. So there we go. There's a vintage 60s jukebox and how it works. All mechanical with gears and cams and all kinds of fun stuff. Neat little machines.